Good morning and welcome to week 5. For week 5, you're going to first watch the video. Then you are going to, which you're doing right now, clearly. Then you're going to look at the reading assignments for this week. In the reading assignments, you'll notice that we're covering Strategies for Successful Writing, Chapter 15, and Unit 5 in Basic Grammar and Usage. You've got notes on Chapter 15, which are basically helping you to better understand the function of definition when it comes to writing. And then you've got a PowerPoint on pronouns, which is the focus of Unit 5 for Basic Grammar and Usage. Then you're going to look at the visual definition. You're going to actually not write a paper or a draft this week. You're going to use Animoto to create a visual definition. We're going to kind of go along with our, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take to populate, so I'll just switch over to the Word document here. But you're going to submit a visual definition by Sunday next week. Because we're kind of always looking at that concept of community. This time our assignment is going to look at problems in communities, one of which is homelessness. And I want you to pick a word to define. It can be on the, kind of the kind of negative spectrum, fear, dejection, degradation, or it can look at things that are in place that actually help, donating, giving a sense of confidence or relief or joy in these scenarios. But remember, a definition provides an audience with an understanding of the characteristics of a word. So if I pick the word teenager, for example, I might look at characteristics like moodiness, disorganization, lack of personal hygiene. Those of you who have teenagers out there, belligerence. But what I want you to do I want you to go back to that chapter and look at all of the things that you can use to create a definition. You're going to start with a title and author frame, and then you're going to introduce the term that you're defining. And I want throughout this definition a purpose and audience to be evident. You're going to use images, color, music, text to define this term and move through those frames using a variety of the music in Animoto, as you know from using it before, is going to kind of go across all of these frames. So you're not going to need to introduce new ones, new music each time, but you're going to want to think about pulling from Google Images for different images that illustrate your term. What kinds of text, what kinds of sentences are going to illustrate your term. If you're going to find a video clip to insert, all of that is going to be part of whatever you decide will most, create the meaning of this particular word. And then as you close, something that brings closure to the presentation, and then a credits. You can use more than 20 frames. I've given you a code so that you can make a longer Animoto video. You'll just submit that into my account. It needs to be between 1 and 2 minutes long, but it can be longer than 2 minutes, but it can't be shorter than 1 minute. And then you'll do a written reflection as well. So you'll submit the link to your video and a one-page document that answers these particular questions. And then don't forget too that you're going to submit it to discussion form number 5, which I'll get to in a second. All right, so that kind of gives you the information about your video. And now it did populate so that you can see it within the frame for Canvas. But for discussion form number 5, you're going to also submit the link so that you can share it with your classmates beyond just sharing your video with me. And remember that when you comment on 2 fellow classmates, this isn't a peer review. You're not going to give them constructive criticism because they're not going to go back and edit it or improve it in any way. You just want to kind of think about like what you've noticed, what may have resonated with you about their definition. And think about always with your discussion forums clear diction, grammar, usage, all of that, and something that's got some substance to it, so that you show them that you've watched the video and you've got a comment that is thoughtful. All right, and then the final thing this week, so you'll turn in the discussion forum, all three posts by November 18th. You're going to give me the video presentation and your written reflection. And finally, you'll do your usual grammar and usage checkpoint, which this time will be on pronouns. All of these are due on November 18th by 11:55. But if you have questions along the course of the week, don't hesitate to ask.